Hey, welcome. Great to see you. Welcome back to JB Breaks Free. Hope you're having a great day. The sun is out in central New York. Was below 30 for a while doing some Instacart. First time in a while I felt my hands kind of getting real cold and I started to get a little soft and I'm like, come on, Jay, toughen up. And I got out there and I did pretty well and the temp got above 30 and I made $64 in like 3 hours today. Just kind of a lot of driving today, really. But I was cool with that. I listened to a couple podcasts, some cryptocurrency podcasts, and of course, a couple funny sports podcasts that make me laugh. So I wanted to definitely check in with you guys today. I'm doing some Christmas wrapping since the big day is approaching. My kids are 8 now, and we're trying to figure out where to hide the presents. Not in the attic because we can't bring them downstairs Christmas Eve because they're probably here. So I might smuggle these out to the garage shortly. Looking forward to that. I am an awful rapper, present rapper. But actually this year is not too bad. I've done pretty good. See, I have a little stack there. You can see those two shelves right there. That's kind of where I keep some of the stuff that I've listed. I got some books on those shelves and some cassettes and some shipping supplies and some stuff that will never sell probably. Kind of went through this thing where I was just donating a lot. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to list it, keep it. It's kind of like, I think of it as like my little store. And really, when it comes to this debt, which I'm going to talk about my debt origin story today, when I first was like, oh God, we got to pay this off. When we started doing that, every dollar counts. You're going to have a lot of small hits and you're going to have some big hits and you're going to get lost in just the sea of debt, but you just keep chipping away. And we are so close. And we have paid off a lot of debt over the course of 2 years. So it was when we first sat down with my wife, it was August 2018, and I had somehow just stumbled upon financial independence and frugality and minimalism, and all these things started intersecting. I read an article by the Frugal Woods, Frugality is My Hobby, and I was like, well, why not just kind of collect money? I've talked about how much all the stuff that I'd like to collect and nobody cares. And yeah, I could buy a $4,000 record or a $4,000 baseball card, and then it's just going to be on my shelf. But instead, I could either invest that money and make some money, pay off debt, live a more stress-free life, start to buy my freedom. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm getting so close to being completely out of debt. Once we lost all our debt besides the mortgage, that was a tremendous relief. And our quality of life, it did increase. We've been able to spend a little bit more carefree, not have to worry. The benefits have just been immense. And I can remember on this mortgage journey, just selling a dollar record here and there, and what am I doing with my time? But just keep grinding it out. And on the Instacart orders, 10 here, 5 here, 20 here. It's $20 closer, Jay, to no mortgage. And I thought it would take a longer of a time than it has, but we're just attacking it pretty well. So today I was out there and made $64 on my day off. I enjoyed it. And then I did my errands on my Monday off. I go to the bank and deposit the week's tips. There's 2 thrift stores I check out. I usually drop a few shipping boxes off and do that. Came home, had a quick lunch, and record this video, and like I said, just wrapped those presents. But I want to get into how much debt that we paid off. So I sat down with my wife and I'm like, let's go over our finances. And I had no clue financially what we were doing. It was a big shock to me because we had a lot of debt that I didn't know about. And it was pretty shocking, but I remember I was very calm about it. My wife was upset, and we had a credit card debt of $28,000. That's a lot of money, $28,000 in credit card debt. And we sat down and um, I know a lot of people could like get divorced over stuff like that. I heard stories, and um, I was a little bit shocked, but I would always wonder like she would make more money than me, but she would have nothing in her savings and this and that. And I'm like, how do I have more money saved than you? I never correlated it. Like I had my half of the finances, she had hers, and she's getting the gifts and this and that, and I don't know. But we sat down. We kind of were at the Dave Ramsey point here, this very beginner, and we made a plan. We made a budget, and I can hopefully dig through some of those sheets. And we did like the debt snowball, where we attacked one debt, then attacked another, and put the rest into that, and the rest into that, and then we had 4 paid off debts, and then the rest would go into the highest one. We chipped and chipped away. So we had $28,000 worth of credit card debt. And since that day, we've been a team. And like Dave Ramsey said, like it's partly my fault. I left it all to her, It's like so I didn't look at it as too much like that was, her fault or whatever. I put a lot of my own money towards that, and we very much met up as a team. So the total debts that we had when we started this, our house was about $104,000 left on the house. We had the credit card debt of about $28,000. Student loans were paid off at this point. We had 2 cars. We had just started leasing a car. I'll never lease a car again. I'd pay for it in cash. But we had this leasing payment. We've been paying it off. It was $210 a month for 36 months. We had about, so we had that payment. And when the lease ran up, there was about $10,000 left on that, and we just paid it off in cash. Then we had another car, a Nissan Rogue from like 2011, which is still my car, and I love it. We had about $5,000 left on that. I thought it was a little bit more, but my wife's saying $5,000. So that all together, about $145,000 in March of 2019. Now it's still 2021. In March 2022, that will have been 3 years. So in August, we had our little talk. We already had a Disney trip planned. Think about the money that cost, but I'm so glad that we did that. Just priceless memories with our kids. I remember, I think the summer before we started paying off our debt, I think this is when I started selling records, and I had a lot of money in my PayPal, and we went to go see Bruce Springsteen in Broadway, and I bought my wife's ticket. So we had a couple high dollar items planned right before and right after that. I've been curious how I would have played that in the situation had I known how much debt we were in. But so we were like, okay, we got this Disney trip planned. We figured out the budget. We're going to have our fun in Disney, and we're going to get home, and it's going to be game effing on. And it was been like a life's purpose, a mission for me to pay these things off. And we did about the same. We paid down the credit cards, and then we paid down the cars, and we're like, okay, everything but a mortgage. And we sat and talked about trying to get to a 50% savings rate, and oftentimes we do more. And so now we're at the mortgage. And the mortgage is okay, right? Like the math people will tell you that it's okay. So I'm like, all right, let's just save all our money now, and I'll put Instacart towards the mortgage, which I eventually started doing. And any found money that we might roll into, or all my flips mostly can go to the mortgage. And I'm like, but at first I was like, let's just get it under 100,000. I feel like we were paying mortgage payments and it just wasn't moving. It was so frustrating. I was like, I want to get this thing under 100,000. And we did. And I can remember like in the 90s, and then I'm like, oh, let's keep going. And then the 80s, then like 75 was a milestone. And I remember being like 75, like 55, that's going to be crazy. And then we got to there, then we just kept going and going. But the point of this is $145,000 that we paid off in 2 years. I'm a waiter, and deliver groceries in the morning, and I sell anything I can find. My wife is a teacher, a high school teacher. Nothing crazy, not like engineers or anything like that, or software. But we're just two normal people, and It's very possible for you guys to do this. And our lives are going to be so much different and so much better once this is paid off, and it already is paying such benefits in our lives. So I just wanted to let you know that's a bit where I am coming from. $145,000 paid off. We'll say March 2022. So 3 years that we will pay that off, and of course I'll be making more posts as we get closer and closer to that date. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to pay off some debt. I hope it inspires you to start a side hustle, to start reselling stuff, start small, start with stuff around your house. I hope this inspires you to talk to your partner. Put it together. Everything I see when the finances are separate, it's not the ideal situation. If you can team up with your partner, or if you can find a partner, if you don't have one at the moment, who is on board with this, your life is going to benefit in so many tremendous ways. Save, invest, pay off debt, earn your freedom, break free from the chains of society that they love to get you into debt. F that. No way. You guys can do this. We can do this together and break free. Let me know how you're breaking free today. Like, share, subscribe this video, and take care, and I will see you tomorrow.